English Leap podcast from Speak English with Miss Nova.
Hey, Miss Nova. I have to admit something slightly embarrassing.
Oh, I love where this is going already.
I checked my phone 11 times before we even started recording this episode.
11? You counted?
I counted specifically because I knew we were talking about bad habits today, and the irony hit me immediately.
That's honestly the perfect way to start this episode.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Speak English with Ms. Nova.
I'm Miss Nova.
And I'm Zane, a man currently working on at least 4 bad habits at once.
Today, we're talking about something deeply human. Bad habits, and how to actually talk about breaking them in English.
Procrastination, phone scrolling, snacking, nail biting, all of it. The real, everyday stuff.
Not some perfect self-help speech. Just honest conversation and useful English along the way.
This is easy English for daily life, so if you've ever tried and failed to break a habit, you'll feel right at home here.
If this episode helps you, hit like and subscribe. Let's get into the mess.
Let's start with the obvious question. Why are bad habits so incredibly hard to break?
Because they usually give you something instantly, even if it costs you something bigger later.
Meaning?
Scrolling your phone feels good right now. The long-term cost, like wasted time or bad sleep, comes later, quietly.
So your brain chases the quick reward and ignores the slow damage.
Exactly. There's actually a great phrase for this. Instant gratification.
Instant gratification, meaning getting satisfaction immediately, without waiting.
You could say, I know it's a bad habit, but it gives me instant gratification, so it's hard to stop.
That's such an honest way to describe it. Not, I'm weak, just, this feels good right now.
Exactly. And that small shift in language actually helps you approach the habit without so much shame attached.
Shame makes everything worse anyway. You feel bad about the habit, then feel bad about feeling bad.
A whole spiral, just from one scroll.
Let's get specific. What's a bad habit you're actually working on right now?
Honestly, I procrastinate on anything that feels slightly boring.
Procrastinate, meaning delaying something you should be doing.
I'll clean my whole kitchen before starting a task I'm avoiding. Suddenly, everything's more interesting than the actual thing I need to do.
That's called productive procrastination, isn't it?
Exactly. Doing something useful, just to avoid the thing that actually matters.
I do that too. Suddenly I'm reorganizing my desk drawers instead of writing an email I've been putting off.
Putting off, meaning delaying something. Very similar to procrastinating.
You could say, I keep putting off that phone call, or I've been procrastinating on starting my project.
Both natural, both honest.
What about you specifically with phones, since we started this whole episode with my confession?
Oh, I'm definitely guilty too. I call it just checking, but it's never actually just checking.
Just checking always turns into 20 minutes somehow.
Every single time. You could say, I keep telling myself I'll just check quickly, but I end up scrolling for way too long.
That sentence alone probably describes half our listeners right now.
Let's talk about actually trying to break a habit, because the trying part has its own vocabulary too.
True. You could say, I'm trying to cut back on my phone use, or I'm working on breaking this habit.
Cut back on, meaning reduce, not necessarily stop completely.
That's such a useful phrase because quitting completely feels intense, but cutting back feels more realistic.
Exactly. And realistic goals are usually the ones that actually stick.
Stick, meaning last, continue successfully.
I tried quitting sugar completely, but it didn't stick. Cutting back worked much better for me.
That's such an honest, relatable sentence.
What about when you fail at breaking a habit? Because that happens constantly.
Oh, all the time. You could say, I fell back into my old habit, or I slipped up again this week.
Slipped up, meaning made a mistake. Went back to the habit briefly.
That word feels so much kinder than I failed.
It really does. Slipping up sounds temporary. Failing sounds final.
And a slip up doesn't mean the whole effort's ruined.
Exactly. You can say, I slipped up yesterday, but I'm getting back on track today.
Getting back on track, meaning returning to your goal after a small setback.
A real story. Breaking the snooze habit. Can I share a small personal story about a habit I actually managed to break?
Please.
For years, I hit the snooze button on my alarm at least 5 times every single morning.
5 times? That's genuinely impressive dedication to avoiding getting up.
I was very committed to the wrong thing. It made my mornings rushed, stressful, and honestly miserable.
So what changed?
I stopped trying to just have more willpower and instead changed my environment.
Willpower, meaning mental strength to resist temptation?
Right. And willpower alone rarely works long term. Instead, I moved my alarm clock across the room.
So you physically had to get up to turn it off.
Exactly. And once I was standing up, going back to bed felt like way more effort than just starting my day.
That's such a clever trick. You didn't rely on discipline, you just made the bad habit slightly harder to do.
Exactly that. You could say, I made it harder to fall back into the habit, or I changed my environment to support the new habit.
That's such a practical approach, instead of just promising yourself you'll try harder tomorrow.
Trying harder alone rarely works. Changing the setup around you usually works better.
Here's something interesting. Sometimes it's easier to build a new habit than to just stop an old one.
Absolutely. Just stop scrolling feels like a wall with nothing behind it.
But replacing it with something specific feels much more doable.
Right. Instead of, I won't check my phone before bed, try, I'll read one page of a book before bed instead.
You're not fighting an empty space, you're filling it with something else.
Exactly. You could say, I'm replacing my old habit with a healthier one. Or, instead of scrolling, I'm trying to read a little each night.
Replacing. Such a useful word here, instead of just removing.
Removing leaves a gap. Replacing fills it with something better. Let's talk about celebrating progress, too, because bad habits rarely disappear overnight. True. And small wins deserve real recognition.
You could say, I went a whole week without hitting snooze. Or, I only checked my phone twice during dinner tonight, which is huge progress for me.
Huge progress. Even if it sounds small to someone else.
Right, because compared to your old habit, that's genuinely a big shift.
You could also say, I'm proud of how far I've come with this, even if you're not fully there yet.
How far I've come, meaning the progress you've already made, not the distance still left.
That phrase focuses on progress instead of perfection, which honestly makes the whole process feel less exhausting.
Let's practice a short conversation about this. I'll ask, you answer honestly.
Go for it.
So, any bad habits you're currently working on?
Actually, yes. I've been trying to cut back on late-night snacking.
How's that going?
Honestly, mixed. I slipped up a few times this week, but I've also had some good nights where I just made tea instead.
That sounds like real progress. Not perfection, but progress.
Exactly. And I'm trying to be kinder to myself about the slip-ups, instead of feeling like I ruined everything.
That mindset alone probably makes the whole habit easier to actually stick with long term.
I think so too.
Let's review today's useful words. Instant gratification, getting satisfaction immediately without waiting.
Procrastinate. Delaying something you should be doing.
Putting off, delaying something, similar to procrastinating.
Cut back on. Reduce something. Not necessarily stop completely.
Slip up, make a mistake, briefly return to an old habit.
Getting back on track. Returning to your goal after a setback.
Willpower, mental strength to resist temptation.
And how far I've come. The progress already made toward a goal.
So today's big idea: bad habits aren't a sign of weakness. They're just patterns that give you something quick, even if it costs you something bigger later.
And breaking them isn't about perfect willpower. It's about small changes, honest language, and being kind to yourself through the slip-ups.
Change your environment. Replace instead of just removing, and celebrate progress, even the small kind.
Tell us in the comments, what's one habit you're currently working on breaking?
We genuinely love to hear it. No judgment here at all.
If this episode helped you, like, subscribe, and share it with someone working on their own habits too.
This is Zane.
And this is Miss Nova. You've been listening to Speak English with Miss Nova.
Take care of your English and take care of your habits.
Bye for now.